I withdrew 124,000 2 weeks ago. The bank gave it to me after 3 days. Second week I did not withdraw. The third week I sent the check on Friday. Bank said there's no cash. Saturday, Sunday and Monday were holidays. The check will go back again. Whether they have cash, I don't know. Kotak Mahindra Bank put out a statement saying we have no cash. HSBC said we have no cash. Every bank says there's no cash. So how did the government say you can withdraw 24,000 rupees? What calculation did they do? A complete mismanagement, which is why Dr. Manmohan Singh said monumental mismanagement. You did not do your calculations. People are standing in line to get 2,000 rupees and 3,000 rupees. The next is, why did you introduce a 2,000 rupee note? Nobody has given an explanation so far. Why did you withdraw the 500 rupee note? The 500 rupee is the note of common currency today. Can you move about in Bombay or Delhi, Mumbai or Delhi? Can anyone survive a day in Mumbai or Delhi if he is taking an auto or a taxi or eating? Can he survive with less than 500 rupees? Why did you withdraw the 500 rupee note? There is no answer. The other question we are raising is, why are district central cooperative banks kept out of this whole exercise? Urban cooperative banks have been allowed. Private sector banks have been allowed. And district central cooperative banks have been kept out. Why? I know several district central cooperative banks in Maharashtra which are fine banks with a fine record. For example, the Pune District Central Cooperative Bank has a capital adequacy ratio of over 13%. It has got zero NPA. 97% of its account holders have KYC, know your customer. Yet the bank has been kept out. Government's answer is district central cooperative banks are mismanaged. Then I ask, why are urban central cooperative banks allowed? What is the difference between a district central cooperative bank and an urban central cooperative bank? If urban banks are so well managed, how is it in Jaipur yesterday the Integral Urban Cooperative Bank was found to be laundering money? Keeping out district central cooperative bank is a way of punishing the farmers of this country. Each bank has got 200, 250 branches. These branches are essentially in the villages. In those villages there is no other bank. That is the only bank in the village. People put their money, take their money out of that bank. And by this, the farmers of this country have been punished. Today there is no money to buy seeds, no money to buy fertilizer, no money to hire labor. In every major town, there is a naka or a chowk where daily workers gather in the morning and somebody will come and pick up 10 workers, 50 workers. In Delhi, it is known as Chori Chowk, I think. In Mumbai, it is in Bandup, I think. It is called
Chowdi Bazaar.
Every town, small town, big town. Today you go there. There's no work. Head load workers, cart pullers, daily workers, there is no work. 45 crore people in this country depend on daily income. 45 crore people in this country depend on earning a daily income. If that income is not coming to me today, tomorrow nobody is going to compensate for that. If I lose my income today, I lose it forever. 45 crore people. Out of that, 15 crore people depend upon a wage income. They have to work for somebody. The remaining 30 crore are flower sellers, fruit sellers, vegetable sellers, milk vendors, dhobi, milkman, barber, cobbler, carpenter, plumber, electrician who do a daily job. 45 crore people have been affected over the last 30 odd days. Now who's going to compensate them? They have lost their income, they have lost their wages, they have cut back on food, they have cut back on medicine. Many of them are migrant workers. Since they have no work, they are going back to their villages. Who's going to compensate them? This is a completely thoughtless move. Nobody in the world has a good word to say about it. Every major economist has condemned it. Every major newspaper in the world has said this is a completely absurd move of the government. This pain will continue. Already it is documented 91 people have died standing in queues, or because they have committed suicide because they have no money. Now who is going to compensate those families? I think the situation is being made worse by thoughtless pronouncements. Yesterday, a leading RSS spokesman has said the 2,000 rupee note also should be withdrawn. I won't be surprised if they do that. In fact, the whole game may have been to lure people to keeping 2,000 rupee note and then declaring 2,000 rupee also as illegal. Ultimately, it is the poor people of this country who are punished. On 8th November, Prime Minister said the word black money 18 times. On 27th November, he made 2 speeches. In the 2 speeches, he mentioned black money 9 times and he mentioned cashless economy 24 times. So no longer it is the old objective of black money, counterfeit currency or terrorist funding. Now it is a new goal. The goalpost is shifting. Suddenly they've discovered cashless economy. I ask, which country in the world has got a cashless economy? Which country? America has got a cashless economy? Singapore has got a cashless economy? World over, small value transactions are always done by cash. If I go and buy popcorn or chole bhatura, I don't pay by card. High value transactions can be done by card. And the Prime Minister suddenly says the whole country must become cashless. The Finance Minister says the whole country will become cashless. How will it become cashless? Where are the POS machines? Where is electricity? Where is Wi-Fi connection? In the villages, there is a village weekly market. I don't know the practice in Maharashtra.
Yeah.
Village weekly market. In village A, it will be Monday. Village B will be Tuesday. Village C will be Wednesday. That is how the market is. In that market, people bring their vegetable, fruit, jaggery, cucumber, baskets, toys, and they sell and buy. That village markets have all been closed for the last 30 days. All the major mandis are closed. Cotton market in Gujarat is closed. Azadpur is closed. Hapur is closed. Footwear market in Agra is closed. Brassware market in Moradabad is closed. Sports goods is closed. Every major market is closed. And then the government says we will move to a digital economy. How will you move to a digital economy? This is the worst attack on the poor of this country. I ask you, I went to a wedding a few days ago, a wealthy family's wedding. None of the rich people seem to be concerned. There is no concern on their faces. It is the poor who are affected. And ultimately I want to ask, 15,44,000 crore is the value of the notes that have been impounded. Suppose all of this comes back to the banking system. What is this exercise for? Already I'm told 13 lakh crore has come back. In fact, yesterday the RSS spokesperson in a speech said over 13 lakh crores come back. We still have another 16, 17 days to go. If the entire 15 lakh crore comes back to the banking system, what have you done this for? There is a Hindi proverb, sorry for my pronunciation, Koda Pahad Nikli Chuhya. Why have you done this exercise? I think the people of this country must be sensitized to the fact that this is an assault on the poor. This has broken the back of 45 crore people who depend on a daily wage and a daily income. With a completely thoughtless, meaningless move by the government, and ultimately it may yield no results whatsoever. I'll take a few questions.
Sir, is it legal? Is demonetization legal?
Well, that matter is now pending in the Supreme Court. Cases have been filed to say that this cannot be done except by a law made by Parliament. That question has to be decided by the Supreme Court. Since the matter is pending in the Supreme Court, I do not want to offer any opinion on the legal question.
I believe there is the difference of opinion amongst politicians. The difference of opinion amongst politicians has been that some feel that the way this decision has been implemented is all wrong, while there are others who feel that the entire decision has been wrong. So I believe from what you said, you feel that this entire exercise shouldn't have been undertaken?
See, if the objective was to remove black money, to prevent counterfeiting of notes, and to stop terrorist funding, there are ways of going about it. We have no quarrel with these objectives. If you wanted to withdraw high denomination notes, like Europe has withdrawn Euro 500, if you wanted to withdraw the 500 and 1000 rupee notes, you could have withdrawn it over a period of 1 year or 2 years and said, in this country, in future, 100 rupee note is the highest denomination note. There would have been no problem at all. But your objectives are not being served by this. I asked 3 questions. Has it stopped corruption? You found that Kandla Port Trust engineer and that military engineering service engineer and that chief engineer in Andhra Pradesh are taking bribes in 2000 rupee notes. Has it stopped black money? All the seizures that are taking place is all in 2000 rupee notes. You found 2000 rupee notes and the bodies of the 2 terrorists who were killed in Bandipur. Therefore, this is not the way to stop black money or corruption or terrorist funding. The objectives are not being served by this. The poor people are being punished.
So as you said that poor people are facing problems because of this, we all are facing actually. But if you see the local body polls results in Maharashtra, they were clearly in favor of BJP. So is it the failure of the opposition to take this whole issue to the people, or the success of the BJP who convince them despite taking this illogical decision that this is the right way? Because we have also seen people commenting we are doing it for the country. So what do you have to say on this?
I don't think you can draw such conclusions. What is the Maharashtra poll result? Congress got 727. BJP got 870. The difference is about 143. 870 and 727 is of course 1 and 2. I'm not denying that. But that doesn't mean the people have voted in favor of demonetization. Secondly, local body elections are not fought on these issues. This is one among many, many issues. I don't think you can draw any conclusions from local body elections, and I don't think the Congress's performance is anything to be belittled. 870 and 727, I think is a very creditable performance, especially when we know that the ruling party always has an advantage in local body elections.
So what do you think will be the long-term economic impact?
No, I don't know who's calling, who's asking.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So what do you think will be the long-term economic impact because of it? And why do you think that the urban cooperatives have been banned, have been spared?
This question you must ask them. The Supreme Court has asked the question, why have you discriminated against the District Central Cooperative Bank? They are supposed to come back with an answer. So I really can't answer the second question. The first question, the long-term impact will certainly be negative for the GDP. You already see that in the growth figures that the RBI is projecting. See, beginning of the year, RBI said the year will result in 7.6% growth. First half year was 7.1. Now the RBI is saying for the whole year it will be 7.1, which means second half will be 7.1. Straight away there is a 0.5% impact by the RBI's assessment. Most economists I have seen place the impact between 1 to 1.5%. Dr. Manmohan Singh estimated effect will be 2%. So it will be somewhere between 1 and 2%.
Mr. Chidambaram, here, despite all this what you have said, why people in masses, I mean general people, are not protesting this notebandi?
Well, I don't know what you mean by protesting. People are desperate to get their money from the bank. They have no option but to stand in queue. Nobody is advocating that people should indulge in violence, but people are complaining, people are protesting. There have been cases where they have got impatient with the banks and the police had to be called to restore law and order. The fact that people are not protesting in the way that you mentioned doesn't mean that they are condoning what the government has done. I believe people will not forget what has been done to them, and they will certainly not forgive the government for what has been done to them.
But there's a general perception that the rich has been rich among the poor. That the rich has been that's comforting them. That the comfortable class has been inflicted. So that's
That is an illusion.
That's an illusion.
That is an illusion.
Try to break it.
I have not seen any rich man concerned or affected. They all seem to be going about happily with their weddings and their parties. I don't see any rich man being affected.
So would your party, how would your party go about breaking it?
Well, I'm telling you today, this is an illusion. This is an illusion that this is intended to hit the rich and help the poor.
Yeah.
Actually, the poor are the ones who've been hurt more.
Sir, obviously alleged that there is discrimination against minority, especially in demonetization. So do you also feel he's saying that banks are not providing money in minorities areas, especially?
Well, I can't comment on that. All I know is that a little over 2 lakh ATMs, only 35% are functional. 65% of the ATMs have no cash. I was in Tirumala, Tirupati 2 days ago. Every bank has got a branch there. They've got ATMs. Not one bank branch, not one ATM had any cash.
Mr. Chidambaram, this is a very serious concern. The post of social media that is circulating has made some very serious allegations against the previous UPA governments. One of the allegations is that the RBI, that is Government of India, has compromised the security features and sourced the note to foreign printers in 1997 and 98. If you were the finance minister, is that true?
How can I answer off the cuff? You show me the papers. Thank God you're only asking about 1997.
Did we outsource printing of notes to foreign countries?
To the best of my knowledge, Indian currency has always been printed in the 4 presses within India. Note paper is purchased even today from abroad, but note printing has always been in India.
What is the future strategy of Congress on this issue?
Just to add to that question.
No, wait a minute. Let me tell one question.
What you're saying is people are very unhappy with this move and a lot of political currency for you to cash in on. The current observation by many analysts is that in the absence of a very strong and capable leadership from in the opposition, Mr. Modi will have a free run in the next election as well. So how do you look at your own leadership in the wake of what public sentiment is now after demonetization?
See, I cannot summon your confidence and predict the result of the next election. The next election is 2 years and 6 months away. That's a long time in politics. We'll look at the next election when we come close to the next election. Let's talk about the present. The present is people are going through a lot of pain and suffering. I'll give you one statistic. There are about 5,000 odd ATMs in the 7 states of the Northeast. 3,500 are in Assam alone. There are only 1,500 ATMs in the 6 states of the Northeast. In Nagaland, in Manipur, there's simply no money. There's simply no currency. How will they survive? In Bihar and Uttar Pradesh, rural parts, if you want to go to a bank, the bank branch is 15 kilometers away, 20 kilometers away. Suppose somebody has got 2 1,000 rupee notes. How will they go and change it 20 kilometers away? I think the kind of pain and kind of suffering that people are undergoing in India, especially in rural India, is indescribable. Even a natural calamity may not have caused so much suffering.
So can you please say what the future strategy of Congress on this issue?
The Congress party will continue to campaign and speak against demonetization and the manner in which it was implemented, both inside and outside Parliament. Since in Parliament, the government does not seem to be anxious at all to debate the matter, we have no option but to come and speak outside Parliament.
Sir, one question. In the past 2 years, some of the programs that have been launched to Make in India and Smart India, etc. How do you think the foreign investors would, their sentiment would be after demonetization in the remaining half of this government?
All the literature that I've read, all the reporting that I've read says it is negative. Something like 30,000 odd crore has been withdrawn in the last 2 weeks by foreign portfolio investors for a variety of reasons. One of the reasons they say is demonetization. I think confidence in the Indian economy has been severely dented by a number of measures, the most important being demonetization. There is today very little credit growth. There is aggregate demand is low. Demonetization has made aggregate demand even lower. And thirdly, no greenfield investments are taking place. All this is reflected in the IIP, Index of Industrial Production. All this is reflected in the core sector growth. And people who do not want to read the tea leaves, I can only be sorry for them. Look at the numbers. What do the numbers say? The numbers say that India is going through a very bad period of tepid growth. No greenfield investments, aggregate demand is low, credit growth is the lowest in 20 years. I think those are the numbers which are relevant, and I have repeatedly said any government, any finance minister, any prime minister must look at these 3 numbers: credit growth, greenfield investment and aggregate demand.
Mr. Chidambaram, what is the way forward? As former finance minister, what will be your advice to government to get out of this illogical and...
Provided they listen to you.
Well, part of the answer is that question. If they wanted our advice, let me tell you in all seriousness. Okay, the Prime Minister wanted to maintain secrecy. But to assume that everyone in this country will betray a secret is wrong. A budget is made. In the last 15-20 years, no budget secret has been leaked out. Over 100 people are involved in budget making. To assume that every officer, every minister will betray secrets is wrong. Be that as it may. The government should have consulted at least Mr. Yashwant Sinha, their own man, finance minister. He could have been called in and said, this is the proposal, shall we go about it?